Hey everybody, Luscious Johnny Lang, our boy Gentleman Jim Mills, Fantastic J's, down here at Robbie's Bar and Grill. Hey everybody, listen, you know, it's Saturday night, and you know what time of the month it is. And that's Halloween, baby.
Yes, it is.
So it's going to get a little scary tonight. So that means me and my bestie GJ, we are about to unleash our next top 10.
But Johnny, you know, we should thank the sponsors because they help us do what we love to do.
And you know what? That's Robbie's Bar and Grill. And that's right down here in Edgemere, Maryland. What else, GJ?
At Starlight Corn and Pond out in Edgewood, Maryland. My shop, you can get anything you need. And Johnny, what else?
Anything you ever need. And not only that, we're talking about Conquer Apparel out of Indianapolis, Indiana. Hey, GJ, what else? You know what? That we have some discount codes. Tell us about discount codes.
Hey, don't forget to use our discount codes for 10% off any apparel you order from Conquer. WWGJD and
WWJLD. And all those will be down in the description, as you guys all know. And once you help those folks, you help us, and you know we love you. And you know we appreciate you. But GJ, what else we got down there?
hey, if you guys want to help us out to keep continuing to make these videos better and better, please click on that Patreon link, and it'll help us out. Any donation, anything you guys can do would be appreciated.
Hey, even a $1 makes us look good. But you know what? You just keep watching them videos.
That's what matters the most.
Check it out, and we appreciate you even thinking about it. Okay, GJ, now that we got rid of all that business,
Now it's time.
well, time for what?
The top 10s, Johnny.
That's right, time to get down to business. So, GJ,
Yeah.
what we doing?
This week's top 10 is top 10 horror movies of all time.
That's right. Now, we talked about this one quite a bit.
Yeah, it took us a while to come up with this list.
You know,
We had a lot of people letting us know what they thought too.
right, oh my God.
Our list.
It's our list. Hey, now listen, as you all know, this is the list that we talk about. But if you disagree, or maybe you just think, hey, I'm going to let you know what I feel about
That's it.
Well, hey, maybe the next list, next Halloween.
Yeah, we'll put it on that one.
on the list. Anyway, GJ. So, top 10 horror films of all time. Let's get with it. Number 10.
Number 10, Hellraiser. They did 9 movies. All 9 movies grossed $50 million. Doug Bradley played Pinhead. Ashley Lawrence played Christy, and Claire Higgins played Julie.
Time out a second. 9?
Yeah,
Movies?
9 movies.
I mean, what was the 9th movie? Hellraiser, Pinhead faces the Scooby-Doo guy.
I don't know what it was. Pinhead versus Jason.
That stuff happened.
That probably did.
Pinhead versus Hong Kong Phooey. No, I'm kidding. But, you know,
Everybody was Pinhead fighting. Anyway,
but those first movies were scary. As
Yeah,
hell.
the first-
And then you got to know him a little bit as a character, and he actually turned out that before he was Pinhead, he wasn't too bad of a guy.
he was Pinhead. It was bad.
Well, while he was Pinhead, he was bad. Okay.
Moving on to number 9, The Ring. There were 5 Ring movies.
She's another one.
Right? They grossed $249 million. And the first movie was Naomi Watts, little hottie there.
Yep.
Martin Henderson and Brian Cox.
Brian Cox.
Anyway, Johnny.
Cox.
But
listen,
the Ring movie, I mean, that was scary.
I saw that first movie, and now listen, some other people that are, our help and wives say that movie was only scary at that time. But listen, if you watch that video,
You were scared at that time.
you watch that video, you're dead.
My wife watches them like this.
And I'm talking about the Ring video.
She watches them all like this.
No, in the movie.
It doesn't matter.
But when that little girl came out of there,
Oh yeah, I mean,
that was like,
yeah, that was.
I mean, how many Ring movies?
There were 5.
I couldn't get past after that first Ring movie.
There was no
I
more.
was done with their Ring movies. Okay, GJ.
Moving on to number 8. There were 4 of these movies. First one came out in 1996. All the movies grossed $604 million, and that was Scream. The first one starred David Arquette, Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, and
What the hell's with this list with the Cox?
Drew Barrymore. Oh,
yeah.
Drew got
How
it
you
first.
doing? Hey, Drew,
She was
listen.
the first one down.
Subscribe, baby.
Fantastic.
She was the first one to go down, and that means die, by the way.
Yeah, it was a great movie. The first one was great, and all the other ones afterwards
They
were all held their own.
They were all good. I enjoyed them all. Here's the thing about Scream that to me was the scariest thing. It's your friends or your family or
Yeah.
people that you least expect to get you. They can get you. But he like GJ just almost got me.
Moving on to number 7.
Hey,
What? Yeah,
Watch
what?
your back for your friends around Halloween.
Number 7. 11 movies. The franchise did $529 million. The first movie came out in 1980. Friday the 13th. Betsy Palmer, Adrian King, and Harry Cassie.
Friday the 13th, iconic Halloween horror movie. You know what?
Check this out. The first movie cost $550,000 to make, but grossed almost $60 million, $59.8 million, $60 million.
And what did you say was the total gross of it all?
529.
Holy.
First movie did 10%.
529
No!
million.
That was a franchise. No wonder there was 11 movies.
So Friday the 13th was basically about a sleep camp
Crystal Lake. That's it.
And here's this kid that drowned. His mother was a camp
Counselor.
And then he came back from
And
all these movies.
Killed them all.
And but not only that, we can only do 2 more Friday the 13th, and I hope
'Cause then it's
everybody. That's right. And you can't go Friday the 14th. So Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th?
11th.
13th.
Friday the 13th. It's the 13th. But seriously, these next 2 movies better be good, because I'm not watching any more after the 13th. Okay.
Moving on to number 6. First movie came out in 1984. The total franchise, which was 9 movies, did $457 million, and that was The Nightmare on Elm Street.
I think
Robert
there's a lot
Englund
more.
played Freddy. Johnny Depp was in the first movie,
Yes.
and Heather Langenkamp. Heather Langenkamp.
No, listen. If you the Langenkamp.
Langenkamp. That's it.
I
Langenkamp.
love making him pronounce his stuff. But if you
Right,
go
right.
on Wikipedia and check out Heather Langenkamp, you know who she is. She is the original. She is like the Jamie Lee Curtis of the Nightmares.
Nightmare. She was in what? She was in 3, right? She did the first 3.
Well, she was in, but then she was in later.
Oh, she came back and did the later.
versions. Yeah, just
I
like-
stopped after 4. Dream Warrior was my last one.
And then just, as these movies go, they want to get that old star power back. So that way you got like a 93-year-old Heather Langenkamp or maybe a 79-year-old Jamie Lee Curtis.
Anyway.
We'll talk about my feelings about Jamie Lee Curtis, who I love,
Later on.
But anyway.
Moving on to number 5.
Time out a second.
What?
Before I end this.
What? Yeah, what's going on?
When he can get you in your dreams.
It's scary. There's no escape. Unless you get him first.
Unless you get him first.
All right, moving on to number 5. First movie was 1981. 4 movies. They totaled $52 million. The first movie, by the way, only cost $400,000, grossed $2.7 million. The Evil Dead, starring Bruce Campbell, Alan Sandwise, and Betsy Baker.
And that's a Sam Raimi film. When you think about this, if you ever watched the first movie,
Evil Dead 2 was my favorite.
that was a good one. They were all, to me, they were scary just because of that spirit that could possess you and make you do. But the thing is, now this first movie, that was a bunch of college students just hanging around and having fun and doing their thing, which launched, of course, Sam Raimi's career and a
Bruce Campbell's also-
very weird Bruce
Bruce
Campbell
Campbell.
career. And
Hey, I like Bruce Campbell.
I do like it, but yeah, and that last film, which was Army of Darkness.
It's one of my favorite cult classics.
Me too. But that, if you watch the first Evil Dead,
And then to the Army of Darkness.
and you talk about 180 degrees. That is no. I almost pooped my pants when that first freaking possessed person jumped up at you in the original Evil Dead. Now, Army of Darkness. There's no pants.
He sharted.
There's no pants pooping in that one.
It's called shart. That's what he did. He sharted.
No, that scared me. I almost pooped my pants.
Moving on to number 4. First movie was in 1978. The total 11 movies grossed over $624 million. And
Wow.
it was with our girl Jamie Lee Curtis. Halloween. David Pleasany.
Anybody remember that first Halloween? I thought I saw Jamie Lee.
It was a John Carpenter movie.
I would time out a second. John Carpenter, by the way, one of the best.
He has a couple on this list, by the way.
But when I think of Jamie Lee,
Anyway,
whoa, time out a second.
I think of Trading Places.
Oh my God! See, let me tell you.
Yeah.
In the last Halloween movie where Jamie Lee Curtis, she reprised her role again. I wouldn't have been mad if she would.
Anyway, moving on to number 3.
Okay, sorry.
The original came out in 1974. The first movie cost $140,000 to make, and it grossed over $31 million. But there ended up being 9 movies, and the whole franchise ended up grossing $235 million. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Marlon Burns, Paul Pernieri was the grandfather, and that was the one that was wanting to drink that blood.
Oh, I know. God. Hit him, and grandfather, and he barely broke that.
You were going to say something?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, when I watched this, and now we know what they were doing. I mean, they were making chili out of the people. But then once you got down there in the depths, you know what I mean, and you knew what this family was about.
Yes.
And Grandpa was the least I had to worry about. Okay, just he'd get a mallet in his hand, and better. The scariest part is when the victim was trying to escape.
That was the scary part when you heard that
Oh,
for
absolutely.
the first time. When you heard that chainsaw strike up the first time, that was
scary. But when she was trying to escape out of the hole, he was slashing her legs with the razors. That made my butt cheeks clench a little bit.
What's it always about the things going
But
on?
I tell you that. No, wait, time out a second. Scary is successful businessman, and what is he doing? How's his business successful? Human meat.
I guess that's scary.
That is scary.
All right, moving on to number 2. Classic. This is one of the first horror movies that I've ever seen. It scared the bejeebers out of me.
Still does. To this
day.
1973.
1973. The first movie cost $12 million to make. Ended up grossing $441 million. The Exorcist, starring Linda Blair, Mark Van Scatto, and Ellen Bernstein. Ellen Bernstein.
Now, this is one where you see a lot of stuff that you never think. Now, I was raised Catholic.
So was I.
And when you see a young girl masturbating with a crucifix, turning her head around, puking up pea soup, whatever the hell it
green
might have
pea
been.
soup they used it when she spit it up. That was just wow. That movie spooked
It was a
a lot
toss-up.
of Americans. It scared the bejeebers out of everybody.
It was a toss-up to me between this
and our next
and
one.
our number one. But Linda Blair, she never really had a career. Now, I mean, this was like her performance in this movie.
Which she couldn't do anything else after that.
Well,
she was
what's that called? Typecasting.
typecasting. Yeah.
But you know what? It was an amazing performance. Not only that, I mean, that whole movie was, to me, I mean, if a horror movie could, get some Oscars or Golden Globes, or
that would be it.
That would be the one, but not a thing.
All right, now we're going to do a couple honorable mentions. 1960, Psycho. There was 5 movies, all 5 grossed 122 million. Anthony Perkins and Janet Leigh.
Yeah, Janet. Now Anthony Perkins, he was in the movies
Yes.
until he passed. He played that unassuming kind of hotel owner and a proprietor, and we all know what was up in the house. And also the corpse of his mother.
Yeah,
Hi, Mom. An interesting side note to this, and Jimmy and I were talking about earlier, and when we were talking about this, and then Halloween as an honorable mention. Now, number one, to me, Psycho is more of a psychological.
Exactly. It's a thriller.
As we talked about before. We talked about in our Talk Tuesday. But there's an interesting relation between a couple of people on our list. And that's Janet Leigh and who else?
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis, and that's her mother, of course, and Tony Curtis is her father.
Yep.
Was. But it's funny how the families stay in the same genre. I mean, and they've all. They all had different movies.
Scream Queen.
Scream Queen, but no, Jamie Lee Curtis is
a Scream Queen.
Well,
Yeah, she was the original.
Her mother was the original.
You are?
And Psycho.
All right.
Now what's next?
Our next honorable mention, 1982, 2 movies. Both movies grossed over 55 million. The Thing. In the original movie, Kurt Russell starred in it along with Keith David.
So now this is a movie that is in my distant memory. But talking about it and reading about it,
when they had everybody tied to the chairs and the thing started coming out, boy, I would have shit myself. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's it. You heard me say a bad word.
Wow.
Write it down.
Wait, time out a second. Get on. You know what you got.
Damn, that would have scared the shit out of me. I ain't gonna lie.
That's twice. Hey, you know what? Tech guy gonna be happy today. He's gonna be happy today.
All right, moving on to number 1.
Okay.
This is again a psychological thriller and a horror movie mixed. 1980. It took in $44 million. The Shining, starring Jack Nicholson, Shelley Duvall, Scatman, who?
Scatman Crothers, baby.
And Danny Lloyd.
Now this is what family. Now he moves his family into a cliffside hotel in the wintertime, and so he can,
as the caretaker,
and so he can write.
So he can write.
But what happens is
Red Rum.
he goes crazy.
Red Rum.
And not only that, his son, Red Rum, and Scatman Crothers, they have this psychopathic connection.
Yeah.
What
gives him warnings.
Yeah, warning. What ends up happening is Scatman gets what? Axed to the back. And of course, we already know what happens to our boy. Man, what a great I would love to go to a place like that. Just not the haunted part, not the haunted, but bar open all night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, for God's sakes, how many tequilas were in that bar, Jimmy? I mean,
but there wasn't enough, it wasn't enough alcohol to keep me there for a whole winter.
I don't know.
Dude, that's solitude. It's just you and 2 others. That would drive anyone crazy. Here's
Hey, all right, listen,
Johnny.
Everybody, listen. We're coming to the end right now. Hey, happy Halloween, everybody!
Happy Halloween, everyone.
We're glad you guys are tuning in to our Halloween specials the last 2 weeks. So, Jimmy, before we get to the end of this thing, we got one more thing that we want to remind these folks of, and that's us going live.
Yes, on November 2nd, we're going to go live for feedthevets.org.
So, GJ,
yes, John.
coming to the end of this.
We're almost there.
Video. God, I want to you son of a gun, you. Okay, coming into the video. So, we talked about November 2nd.
Yes, we did.
We talked about what we need these people to do, and that is bring us some non-perishable food items and also bring us some jackets and coats for our community. The kids especially, we want them to be hungry. I mean, not hungry, we want them to be fed.
We want to help out the local community and the local food bank. So anything you guys bring down, goes directly back into the community. And any donation you have while I'm behind the bar slinging and Johnny's smoozing and cruising will go directly to feedthevets.org to help our veterans across the nation.
And by the way, you can go on there, feedourvets.org, and you can donate
Yourself.
Okay, GJ, end of this son of a gun.
And we're there.
We're there. Okay, so what do we want our friends out in YouTube land to do?
Subscribe to the channel.
Not only that, like every video that you like to like. GJ, what else?
And make a comment. Let Johnny know how you feel about us.
I'm afraid that when you guys see this next blooper video, they might kick me off of YouTube.
Anyway, it'll be a temporary suspension.
GJ, what? Not only that, when they hear what?
Bing!
When you hear that bell, that means we need you to get over there to that computer. And when you get on there, what's going to happen, GJ?
You're going to watch the video because we just dropped new content.
That means that content, the fantastic J's, baby. You're talking about Gentleman Jim Mills. You're talking about Luscious Johnny Lang, and that's the stuff that we want to see. And we appreciate you, folks. And we appreciate you checking us out. GJ, is there anything else that you want to say? I'm just asking because I know there's not, but I just like doing this to you.
Well, let's see. Go Ravens.
Oh, that's right. Go Ravens, baby. Okay.
Go Nationals.
That's right. Go Nationals. The Yankees are. We don't want to mess anybody up. But anybody.
Hey, we're coming to an end.
We're coming to the end. We appreciate you guys watching. And not only that, we appreciate you guys supporting our fundraisers for Feed Our Vets and for our community. And also, we like to thank you for watching.
See you soon.